Hello fellow explorers, my name is Tony Tapia and today we're going to be discussing the moon. So when it comes to the location of the moon actually orbits the Earth and rotates at the same time that it revolves around the Earth. So this means that the same hemisphere of the moon will face the Earth at all times. The moon makes one full complete orbit around the Earth in about 27 days. And because the Earth is rotating on an axis as it orbits the Sun, the moon will appear to orbit every 29 days versus the actual 27 days. So when it comes to the size of the moon has a radius of about 1,079.6 miles and is less than 1/3 the total width of Earth. It actually only appears to be really large from Earth because it's the closest celestial body to us. So when you take the moon and compare it to other planets, you can see that there are definitely substantial size differences. This image in particular will show us that the size of the moon is definitely going to be smaller than Mercury, Earth, and Mars. So for how the moon was formed, I found this really awesome video here. I'm going to zoom in, or I'm going to fast forward just a bit. So the leading theory of how the moon was formed includes this Mars-sized body that collided with Earth. Now this collision happened about 4.5 billion years ago. Now here in the video you can see that there's all types of different debris floating around after the collision, and this debris eventually accumulated together and formed the newly formed moon. But this wasn't the moon that we know today. It's still very much in its molten state, as you can kind of see here. But within about 100 million years, the moon will have crystallized to form the lunar crust that we know and see today. So the moon's surface itself has a lot of different types of craters of different shapes and sizes, and these are all due to the different asteroid impacts, meteoroids, and different comets that all pretty much steadily strike the surface of the moon. Now nearly the entire surface of the moon is covered by this charcoal gray powdery dust and different rock debris, and it's really called the lunar regolith. Now, beneath this region is fractured bedrock known as the megaregolith. These light areas here are called the highlands, and the dark features on the moon are called the maria. So an interesting thing that I learned while researching the moon was that the temperature reaches to about 260 degrees Fahrenheit when the moon is in full sun. But when it's in the darkness, the moon temperature will drop to about negative 280 degrees Fahrenheit. I really found this interesting because I had no idea how much of a drastic difference the temperature on the moon actually had. So I thought that was a really cool thing to learn. So when it comes to lunar exploration, the moon has definitely been visited by numerous spacecrafts by multiple space agencies from around the world. It's the only place besides Earth where human beings have actually stepped foot in. Probably one of the most notable occurrences happened back in 1969, where Neil Armstrong was the very first human to walk on the moon's surface. And in more recent years, specifically December 2013, China became the third nation to safely land a robotic spacecraft on the moon's surface. So, should we continue to explore? Personally, I say yes. I found out there are a lot of discoveries that were made in regards to the Earth's impacts that led to the extinction of the dinosaurs. Now, these discoveries were actually made possible because of the Apollo missions that were conducted. So if we continue to explore the moon, chances are we'll have a lot more insight to these extinction events that have happened here versus just having to rely on different speculations. Here are some of the references that I've used for the presentation, and that's about it. Thank you so much for watching.